And in this exciting episode, a nice 55-inch Samsung TV. You don't need skill to repair it, just a bit of magic. It's a big brute of a Samsung. Well, it's 55 inches. Some people class that as a big brute, some people don't. It's a JU, but I'll show you the full model number in just a second. Apparently it's just not coming on. These were great TVs, but they are coming to that age now. In fact, I would imagine sometime later on this year, some of these will not be as smart as they were intended to be. I imagine Netflix or Amazon Prime to disappear from these, because they're coming up to being 10, maybe 12 years old. But as I say, really good TVs. And they always had a backlight problem. I'm not too sure this is a backlight problem, because these are bi-wired. So if there's a backlight problem, it's either the top half or the bottom half that goes. And it was just a connection problem. The backlights actually were very secure, but to get it to work again, you had to thump the darn things. But this doesn't seem to be coming on at all. So I'm going to just plug it in and see what the standby light is doing. He's just there, and I'm switching on now. And we do get a standby light. Remote control. Okay. So it's not a backlight issue. Not even attempting to come on. Not even attempting to come on. I would imagine, unless the backlights are shorting out, because backlights shorting out can cause that, but I would imagine we've got a mainboard issue here, so let me have a look. We've got one of these aftermarket stands on there, oh, there's something rattling around in here. When I lifted it up outside the customer's car yesterday, and you possibly just heard it, there is something rattling around. Now, normally rattling around is backlights. The lenses, but that sounded a bit more heavier than that. But if it's the lenses that have come off, it's obviously going to need a whole new set of backlights and whatever the original problem is. Unless the original problem is connected to the backlights, which at the moment I don't think it is. But there's always that chance. Because I was always taught that it's very rare for a TV to have two faults, especially two serious faults, like, you know, short on the main board and backlights failing. Because even though this is an old TV, I haven't shown you the model number yet. Even though this is an old TV, it doesn't make it a cheap fix. You know, it's a bit like owning an old classic car. You still have to pay new prices for parts. But as long as that rattling around is not the lenses and something broken in here, it sounds like it's something broken in the back here. But I can't be 100% sure. Right, that's it. That's all the backlights out. Every single one of them. Backlights? Screws. What is wrong with me? I always say that, then I always find out that I've left one in. It's acting like I've left one in about here. Can we see anything rattling around? Oh, a screw. So if that's been rattling around, and it looks like a screw from a stand, how did that get inside? Okay, first thing to test, turn all the lights off and see if when I plug in the backlights are coming on when I disconnect the main board from the power supply. I thought that was very warm then. Right. We're getting no backlights. So at the moment it's looking like a power supply issue. Because those backlights should be on. Let me just see if... Yeah, that power board's taking nothing. That's bizarre. Right, sorry, I'm going to turn some lights back on. Let's try again. I think it's just come on now. I thought it had come on then. I'm going to disconnect the backlights and see if it comes on. So we're in standby. No. But the backlights are not coming on. Wow. At the moment this is indicating to me that it needs a new power supply and a new main board. I wonder if this has had lightning damage. Try with the Wi-Fi disconnected, because the Wi-Fi can cause problems, but no. Disconnect the screen. So we've definitely got a main board problem, but the backlights are not coming on when you disconnect the power supply, disconnect the main board from the power supply. Sorry, I'm supposed to be switching off the lights, and I switched off the PC. So now let me switch off the lights. Still no backlights on. Oh, I've unplugged the backlights here, hang on. You can probably see just. Right, backlights coming on. Yes, that didn't happen before. That didn't happen before. Sorry, we've got it all unfocused. I'll leave it at that because you can tell that the backlights are now coming on. Why didn't the backlights come on before? So it's looking like a mainboard job. And we've got nice bright white backlights, top and bottom. So, it's looking like we need a new main board. Let's see what happens when I plug in the main board. Backlights go out. It goes to standby. Are you telling me it's now coming on? It's now coming on. I haven't got a picture because the main board is switched off. Not going in as nice as I want it to go in. That's better. Let me just switch cameras because I want to see if we're getting a picture now. That would just be ridiculous, wouldn't it, if we're getting a picture now? I've got everything connected. I'm even going to connect the Wi-Fi back up. Right, switch on. How did I fix that? How did I fix that? What did I do? Come on, you've seen the video. What did I touch? What did I unplug? What did I reset? Or am I just magic? Or did that screw floating about short something out? But I've unplugged it and reset it. Come on, somebody explain that one to me. You love to comment when I get things wrong. Comment how I got this right, because I haven't the faintest idea. But sometimes with electronics that just happens. Let me just test the remote control by going round the back, switching off. Yep. Does it go to standby? Yep. Switching it back on? Yep. I really don't know. But a fix is a fix. I don't know. You saw me plug this board in. Disconnect the main board, backlights didn't come on. I disconnected the Wi-Fi to see if that made any difference. No. I disconnected the screen, see if that made any difference. No. There's the red light. And now when I hit the toggle switch, backlights come on. And that light will go out. There. Maybe that screw rattling around upset something. But I don't really know what the answer is. But anyway. Yeah. All I can do is leave it for a bit. Let it reset itself. Come back in later on and see if it's stuck in standby again or if it's just cured itself. Incidentally, I'm hoping that the first bit of the recording I made came out because I switched the PC off instead of switching the lights off, and that may have caused an issue with the file. But anyway, I don't know. I'll let you answer that one. How did I sort that out? Eh? How did I sort that out? Magic. Well, a message to Debbie McGee. If you're watching, Debbie, get your coat. You've pulled.